Welcome back to the Seattle Seahawks franchise. What a tough way to finish the last episode, and we'll hope to turn the page against another divisional opponent. Prior to the game, this week will be important for the draft process. We will be putting focus scouting on two potential top 5 quarterbacks in Tyler Foster and Cal Bird. It's not a secret that there needs to be a change under center since the Sam Howell era has not been as fruitful as we'd like. Beyond the two quarterbacks to focus on, we'd like to see a third option as well. It could be a relationship Cal Bird has with his Miami center if we choose him in the draft. And that relationship could be crucial if we opt to continue to build the O-line that's played much better this season. Another option is Kendrick Duhan, who's a 6'4" corner with good speed, and the secondary may need an extra boost after we shook it up at the trade deadline. But ultimately, I'm gonna settle on another Miami player. They have a lot of good players coming from that program, and Jeremy Brockers is a 21-year-old safety that we could look to build on with him and Cameron Tucker manning the deep part of the defensive backfield. I currently have 36 players favorited based on what I personally scouted off camera, and I think this is a class that will get me a bit more excited when the time comes. But currently, our offense is a bit vanilla at the moment, and we lost touch of the fundamental parts of the game. But hopefully the return of Kenneth Walker will be the boost that we need. We'll also need to trash that game away from the back of our minds and lock in before it gets even more out of hand. A lot is riding on this Week 13 matchup, but this is also personal since Trey Benson went off for over $150 on the ground last time. Our defense should pride ourselves with the talent we have on the defensive front, and today it's time for them to buckle down. Especially when the rest of the division beyond the Rams is knotted up at 6-5. So there's not a lot of wiggle room to work with. This game will have major implications on what the playoffs could look like, and this rainy day in Seattle will have our defense start the game. And I hope you guys enjoy these next two games. Kyler Murray will start this drive from the 23. It's a handoff to Benson. Good blocking, and the crease will open up the day with a gain of 13. We've discussed in depth how important it is to hold him today, and that's not the way we want to start. As Murray will get crushed in the backfield by Boye Mafe, and this drive will end on a punt. And the defense hasn't played terribly, but it's the offense that has put them in some vulnerable positions, as Walker's first carry is stuffed for a loss of 2. Big moment to have him back on the team to give us a much needed jolt, as the play action screen to Metcalf will go for 5 yards. And this is the situation we find ourselves in lately with 3rd and longs, and the interior pressure is too much for Howell as both teams log in a sack and a punt to start their day. Dixon will boot this near the 5-yard line, and this will be very much returnable as Adoree Jackson's return will put them in some good field position to start. So the offense remains stalled, and we'll trust the defense can have the same result as the first drive, as Benson's run will only amount to 3. Cameron Tucker was in on that tackle and is currently the leading tackler on the team as he will assist Dotson there to stuff Benson. This is more of what we want to see from our defense, and it's just a matter of getting off the field. And Murray can't find anyone, he's going to take off, running past Tucker, and this is a huge gain that will take them near the red zone. The run goes for 23 yards, and they'll need another 23 to put up 6 on the board. Here's Murray going for it all, and it's caught in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Tip Ryman and the Cards will strike first, and there's just no one covering the deep zone, and Ryman just sneaks by everyone, and he just sat and waited for the easy score. Already down here at home on this rainy day, we're hoping for some kind of lightning to spark our offense, as Walker will storm past the defense and a massive gain of 14. That's his biggest run since returning from his injury, as the pass is behind the receiver Lockett, who was unable to hold on. Running a 2-back set on 3rd and short. Here's Walker taking it on the inside zone and an easy first down as he averages 7 yards per carry in his return, as Kendrick Cook is shaken up after the play. Cook would be fine as Howell takes a deep drop. He goes even further, but eventually runs out of time. Bilal Nichols once again meets him in the backfield. And on 3rd and long again, Howell needs 19. The pass is off the mark. Howell gestures to his teammates to calm down, but look at this. Metcalf has no one near him, and this pass just sails over him, and it wasn't even close. That's not going to put anyone's mind at ease when we have an easy touchdown like this. So the Cards will take over now in good field position, and this run by Benson will be grinded out for a healthy gain. Benson has been contained so far, but he's still been effective. He'll get it again, as the stiff arm will propel him forward to move the chains. Arizona trying to add a little bit more distance on the scoreboard, and the third touch by Benson is redirected, and he'll cut his way for a big gain. It's been all him on this drive, and this is disappointing to watch from our front seven. As Murray's pass attempt isn't gonna happen, he's taken down by Byron Murphy, who's been on fire lately. And here's a screen pass to Harrison Jr., and it'll only go for a short gain. And that's only his second catch today. He's usually the one that hurts us when we faced off in this series, and this has been an oddly quiet day. But the pass rush today is making some noise. Our third sack of the day, and it's by the fan favorite Amari Barno, who will force the field goal team out. And Dicker will knock it in to make it a 10-point game. This is why it's so important to finish our drives, because it can swing the momentum of the game, as the pass this time gets hauled in by Metcalf, who fights for the first down. So the one in traffic is made, but not the wide open one. But I guess that's how it goes sometimes. And now Walker showing off his strength with a powerful run here, and that'll net 4. And he had to earn every yard. Walker stays on the field. Metcalf lined up to his left, dropping back to pass, and he never saw the blitz coming and loses the football. It's recovered by Arizona, and the turnovers continue to haunt us. Rookie linebacker Larry Griffin comes crashing in, and you gotta hold on to the ball in that situation, and it's clearly out before the knee hits the ground. And Arizona will stay on the ground, and Benson has a big hole up the middle. He's still up and hurdles over a man before being brought down. Trey Benson now with 83 yards in the first half. Safe to say we haven't figured him out in this game either, and he'll get it again going up the middle for another 4. Alexander Madison will relieve him for the moment, and he will get it going to the left side. Bounces outside, and he's got a touchdown. Madison will make this a 17-0 game, and it has been another mess of a performance. Jumping to the second half, and this will mark 6 straight quarters without a touchdown, and this offense is completely discombobulated, and we need a big play to inject some life to our team. Charbonnet will stretch this to the outside, and that might have been the play to bring us over the hump. Finally, some toughness, and blowing through a superstar like Budda Baker is the burst we needed. Kenneth Walker is back onto the field. It's a play fake, and the offense might be clicking. It's Tyler Lockett out in the open field, and he'll get this inside the 10. When we're in need, he is Howell's go-to guy, and that connection is missed this year. As he'll boot this to the right side, the jump ball is lofted high and caught for the touchdown. It's the rookie Nate McDonald, and the touchdown drought has ended. This was a questionable throw, but he just threw it as high as he could, and McDonald used every inch of his vertical to put us on the board. Ideally, we want that to build some traction for this team, but the Cards have positioned themselves again in plus territory, and Benson has been a pain. Murray just crossed 100 yards through the air, so it's telling the amount of impact they have on the ground today. As the pass is completed again, this time to Joshua Palmer for 7. We've got to do anything we can to keep this within range. A field goal won't hurt us that much, but we can't afford anything else. And here's Murray taking off again and sliding to move the chains. Scrambling quarterbacks are continuing to hurt us, and there's just nothing we can do about it. He's going to try and do it again, and that's a lot to ask from our defensive line. It's going to be another touchdown for Arizona. There is not a starter in sight for our defensive line. They're all exhausted from the run game, and Darren Foster, the rookie, gets welcomed to a Kodak moment, and they'll expand this back to a 17-point lead. And speaking of, this shot shows how cool and composed the Cardinals are at this moment. Meanwhile, on our end, we're trying to scratch and claw our way back through this 3rd and long, as Fant makes the catch, but he's going to be a yard shy. Offense will line up here and going with the hard count, and someone did jump, but unfortunately it's on the rookie guard Gregory. Arizona can now blow this game open even more than it already is. Murray with a clean pocket is going to take the shot. Harrison Jr. has the step, and it's going to be caught for the big play. MHJ with the biggest play of the game and sucking the life out of this defense. As Madison gets it again, cuts back, touchdown! And on back-to-back divisional games, things get blown out of proportion. All the games played between these two teams were close with the exception of this one. It's been all Arizona and more trouble ensues. Walker coughs up the football and recovered by Arizona. And it was the big hit that was followed through by Buda Baker, who takes out his frustration after being laid out by Charbonnet earlier. So the long day proceeds to get even longer as Benson gets another carry and takes a big hit by Tucker, but he will get 7 and crossing over 100 yards against us again. The game plan to stop him has failed tremendously, and it's gonna get even worse. It's a touchdown to Zay Jones. And boy, this is a bad time for this. And why does this happen every single time? Brandon Ballard just blocks off his own man, allowing Zay Jones to break loose. So the rookie makes a mistake, but this was well over before that play happened. I guess the best thing that happened to us the rest of the game was Cameron Tucker, who was able to pick up a sack to lead them to another field goal. But an embarrassment in these last 2 games at home, and Murray finally puts us out of our misery. We are now 0-4 in divisional games this year, and get this, we've been outscored 151 points to 41 in those matchups. And this offense is completely lost out there. We have no rhythm, no fluidity, and this is as rock bottom as it has been in this series. And even the return of Kenneth Walker wasn't enough to get us over the current slump. I tried to get the run game going, but their front 7 stacked the box pretty much the whole game, and by the time they had a lighter box out, we already were down by a landslide. And our run defense once again lets us down when we're matched up against Trey Benson, and it's just a wasted effort because we also did a lot of good in the pressure department and taking down Murray 5 times in this game. But obviously it wasn't even close to being enough, and now I'm worried at this point that we may never be able to climb out of this hole we're in after the last 2 games. We have to go back to what's been working for us all season by relying on the run game to open up the passing attack and trust that our defense can continue to be somewhat reliable and not allow the big plays to keep us in these games. But one of the areas that I want for that side of the ball is to continue to generate as much pressure as possible so we could flip the field to our advantage. And that's why it makes a ton of sense to start focusing our staff points onto the edge rushers. One guy that's been getting some positive feedback is Amari Barno. This was a guy that the comments section suggested that I sign, and we are starting to see him blossom, including his sack against Kyler Murray in the last game, and now he's been upgraded to star development for his recent success. This is hopefully just the beginning because he's going to have an opportunity to get another upgrade in the next game if he can come away with 6 tackles and a TFL. We've wondered who will step up once Derek Hall went down, and the 26-year-old may be earning himself more playing time and possibly an extension for the near future. He's extremely athletic, and I just hope he's able to find more success before regression starts to set in. So we'll move on to our next matchup against the Saints, and there is no more Derek Carr or Alvin Kamara. They've turned over the reins to Spencer Rattler this season, and they've only won 2 games this year. With the way we're playing, this is definitely not going to be a gimme, and if there was ever a moment for a trap game, this has all the red flags pointing towards it. They felt very comfortable moving on from Alvin Kamara because they drafted an X-Factor running back in Ramon McBride. So another Ramon who is an X-Factor in this past draft, and he's very Kamara-like, being a receiving back who can do a bunch of things on the field. And it makes me a bit worried since our run defense has been inconsistent. So to me, the game plan is to attack the quarterback once again and get this pass rush going early, so Rattler can make some bad decisions. This should be a task we can be successful in because Spencer Rattler is currently the most sacked quarterback this season, and Fuwanga is struggling this year because he's contributed to 14 of those sacks. I will also make one more move before we jump into the game by releasing the undrafted receiver Cole Berry. The extra spot is to add a veteran player in Kyle Van Noy. This is just for more depth, and his mentorship could be helpful for us moving forward if we are planning to develop our edge rushing core. We have to win the battles in the trenches. I don't want us to take anything for granted even with an inexperienced quarterback on a 2-win team. This is still the NFL and every win needs to be earned, and that just means all of our guys needing to do their jobs. And it will start with the offense lined up at the 28-yard line. Kenneth Walker gets the carry and a huge lane opens up and we take off on a positive note. Obviously, Walker's return from injury was less than ideal, and we just hope it's just shaking off some rust, because when he's healthy, that's the result you'll get. And on 2 plays, we find ourselves in Saints territory. Howell will drop back to pass now on 2nd down, and it will be completed to the rookie Kendrick Cook coming across. Cook has cooled down a bit, and it could be that his target shares are lowered since the return of Tyler Lockett back from injury. And right on cue, Lockett has the 1st down. Getting off to a strong start is so crucial for a team that has only scored 10 points in the last 2 games, and this is as good a drive we could have asked for, and so far Howell looks to be in a much better rhythm. You also have to wonder how much injury has played a factor, because right now it's been all Walker and Lockett that's moving the needle on this drive. Howell now will operate from empty. Saints drop 7 in coverage, and somehow the interior pressure still gets to him to disrupt the throw. Stephen Gregory, the rookie, was the one struggling in that sequence. And now more heat and another incomplete pass. Saints sent the house, and it worked to their advantage, so this drive will finish off with a Jason Myers field goal. And it's a 3-0 game, but there's definitely a sting to not being able to finish off that drive in the end zone, as the Saints start their drive with a carry by the rookie running back McBride, who's tackled down by Dotson for 3. He's managed the heart of this defense with toughness, and now he comes in on a blitz, but the ball is released quickly for a 1st down to Juwan Johnson to take them to the 42. Cameron Tucker wasn't able to keep up in coverage, and now he's playing a deeper zone for this snap. As Rattler goes underneath and has a man out in space, that's A.T. Perry with the catch and run that will take them inside the 30. Coverage was really soft, but our tacklers weren't able to shed off blocks, but this time they finished the play. It's Tyrese Knight with the sack as the Seahawks call their own blitz to force 3rd and long. And now taking the conservative route as the screen goes to McBride, who will get a lot of it back but will still be well short of the sticks, so they too will attempt a field goal. Blake Grupe on the try, and the 44-yarder is good to make it a tie game. It was an eventful first quarter, but neither team were able to put the finishing touches to their drives, and Metcalf will pick up his first catch of the day for nearly 10. He's been holding down the fort with all the injuries we've had, and we can only hope the reinforcements will come as Walker is having himself a nice day on the ground. 2 straight drives that have placed him inside plus territory, and here's Walker again. Good block by Cook and picking up another chunk. This will go for 13 more. It just seems like each time he's touched the ball today, it's going for at least 8. As Howell will throw from the 2-back set, and the pass is completed to Tyler Lockett, who runs from sideline to sideline for another 1st down. Walker now back in for this snap. He'll get it stretching to the wide side of the field. Flag is down, and this valiant effort is nullified by the hold. Noah Fant was the culprit who was called on the penalty. So we'll expect some more throws here by Howell, as the screen pass to DK will only be for a short gain. So it's 3rd and long with Charbonnet in the slot. They're going to call a screen here, and Walker will try to catch the edge, but unable to. No one was able to block Marshawn Lattimore, so it'll bring out Jason Myers again. And this field goal marathon will continue, and we will take back a 3-point lead. 2 red zone attempts and 2 field goals to show for it, as Byron Murphy will swallow up the halfback for a loss of 2. He's really been a bigger contributor since the game against the Colts, as Olave puts Ballard in a blender, and the run after catch will result in 20. After that moment, Olave will be shadowed by Witherspoon the rest of the way, as Rattler now has all day to throw, and the lack of pressure is going to hurt us as he connects again with Perry, and that's back-to-back plays that will result in 15 or more yards. The make or break for success is going to be putting pressure on him, and that's not a good sign on the previous snap. And now the rookie McBride showing off his Camara-like skills with the catch, and Rattler crosses the century mark. Under 3 minutes to go, Rattler throwing from the gun and connecting with A.T. Perry. This guy is really giving Ballard the rookie a hard time in the slot today. His 3rd catch gives him 59 yards on the day. Here's McBride trying to find a crease and stopped at the 1. He nearly had the first end zone score of the day, but Dotson with a solid takedown there. As Rattler rolls and throws, and there's our first touchdown of the game. How about Laviska Shenault returning back here in Seattle and completing his revenge tour? And he just runs across the end zone and locking eyes with his QB all the way through, and Tucker was too late to recover. Seattle still has plenty of time to work with here, and the throw by Howell is in the hands of Noah Fant. There's only green grass in front of him, and this will be a house call. Tackled at the end, but way too late, and finally we found the end zone. And this throw was on target and actually a really nice play by the linebacker Willie Gay. It goes off his fingertips and lands into Fant's hands, and the rest just came down to the breakaway speed. And credit to our tight end to stay with it and go the distance. Okay, so the last couple of drives has made this game a bit more exciting, and we'll try to keep the momentum. But Olave has the big catch and gets out of bounds. And keep in mind, Witherspoon is shadowing him for the rest of the game, so hopefully we can do a much better job than that against him. Like he does right here! The ball is intercepted by Devin Witherspoon. He's got some space down the sidelines, still going, and this one is gonna go all the way for a defensive touchdown. There's a new sheriff in town, and Witherspoon has stepped up to the challenge as the team's #1 corner, and he has been excellent since taking over that role. And that time he was not going to let Olave win on that route, and he made Rattler pay for it as the Seahawks will expand this to a 10-point lead. Hopefully that's the play that would be the turning point to our slump, and it might be contagious enough for the defense as Pritchett has a nice breakup on that pass. Still over a minute before the half, Rattler fires this deep over the middle and connects again. A.T. Perry with another, and he will take this back out left and easily walk in for a Saints touchdown. Another big play allowed by this defense after 2 positive executions, and this is DeCamerion Richardson, who is lined up with Perry. He was giving Ballard a playoff, and somehow Perry just blows by him, and Richardson gets toasted on the route, and we now have a close ball game again as we head into the second half. I hope we don't fall into this deep trap, and Walker is looking to prevent that as his tremendous day on the ground continues with another 10+. He seems to be very much back to form, and it helps when your interior line opens up the big gap, and that will be another 9 as he hits 100 yards on the day. Now 2 tight ends on this formation. It'll go back to Walker, who will push forward to move the chains. This is exactly what was missing the last few games, and this might open up the passing attack as Howell will try it here. He will take the deep shot going for Metcalf, and the throw is well short, and they'll try again on second down. The vet Tyrann Mathieu was the one knocking it down, and they'll go back to the ground as Walker will pick up 3, and that is his shortest run of the day, which should give you an idea how great he's been. But this game is going to come down to Howell making the proper throws. And that's not going to do it there. It's intercepted and returned by Alontae Taylor, and he's going to bring this back near midfield. Just a boneheaded read. There was interior pressure, but this ball should have gone to Metcalf. Instead, he thought that Cook would carry the route, and even if that was the case, just a bad throw all around. So our defense once again being put in a very tough situation, and the throw was lofted and completed to Rashid Shaheed. It's going to be a big gain of 17 on the play, and Pritchett unable to match up with his speed. And now Seattle changes the defensive look, and someone jumped on the hard count, and the Saints will be backed up on a false start. Secondary showing a much softer look, and Seattle will send the heat. The pass is caught by Olave, but another flag is on the play, and this is again on the Saints for holding. So they're really beating themselves up after starting with such great field position. And now Rattler is taken down in the backfield. Knight calls checkmate as he picks up another sack. I mean, this is the best result you could have asked for out of our defense. And Rattler wants it all back, and it's intercepted. It's the rookie Cameron Tucker who will take this arm punt back. What a big time play for the safety out of Texas. Rattler had 2 receivers running streaks, and Tucker just plays center field perfectly. And now the young man has his 3rd INT of the season and bailing out the offense on another mistake. But the question remains if Howell can put it all together as he takes another shot to Metcalf, and again it's short. DK had a step on Kool-Aid McKinstry, but the lack of arm strength gets exposed again. Now they'll dump it off to Walker on the screen, and he'll dash his way out of bounds to move the sticks. Walker will add on to his big day, but here's Charbonnet on the stretch, makes a move and picks up the first down. What a nifty move by the backup running back, and the combination we have here is really special, as the third quarter will come to an end on a run for no gain. We enter the final chapter with a 3rd and long, going for the end zone and nearly picked off by Lattimore. Cook had to play corner on that route, but this will be another Jason Myers field goal, and he will extend this to a 6-point game. Disappointing that we weren't able to finish off with 6 on a turnover, but our defense has really done their job well today against the Saints. And here's more pressure on the second-year quarterback. Meet the vet Bobby Wagner for the 3rd Seahawks sack of the day, as the rookie McBride will kick this out left for only a short gain, and he has been locked down the entire game. So what do they draw up on 3rd and long? Rattler, feeling more interior pressure, he breaks out of a sack but can't avoid the second attempt. It's Amari Barno. What a pleasant surprise he has been in the last few games, and really taking a huge leap when he's out on the field. And the punt will be fair caught by Richardson at the 44-yard line. This is what I call a dagger drive. It's a prime opportunity to put your opponent away with a scoring drive, as this is a better throw by Howell but good coverage by the defense. The passing attack has been iffy, but the ground game has been money, as Walker again gains another 10+ yards. We should have just ran our playbook like a college offense today, as Walker gets it again, but only has a couple. I would say he's officially back, and what a time to have him play like this, as the toss to the right side is behind the receiver, and from here, it's a 57-yard try, but the offense will stay on. No intentions to snap it here, but we do get someone to jump. Hopefully it's on the defense, and it is. So now it's a reasonable attempt for Jason Myers, who's been perfect so far today. And the 52-yarder is good. And we have a 9-point lead. Under 5 to go, and it's going to take a tremendous effort by the Saints offense, as McBride will get it on the screen, and they'll get a bit deeper into Seahawks territory. They really like this running back for a lot of options, and the future is bright for him. But he can't hang on here. Still some rookie mistakes that need to be shaken out, but this also puts them in a tough spot. They still go back to him, and the confidence is going to pay off, as McBride will get them the much-needed first down. 3 tight end set without the rookie on this play. Rattler's going to drop back. Good protection, and now he's going to roll out. Spencer Rattler showing off his wheels, and that's an easy first down for the former Gamecock. Saints playing with a bit more urgency now. Coverage looks tight. Flag on the play, and this is spiked on the ground, and it's going to come back on another hold by the Saints. If I'm correct, that's their 5th penalty on the day. And now the pass is completed to Perry, who bounces off a tackle and another, and he's going to walk in for the touchdown. What a sloppy sequence from our defense. Perry has his 2nd of the day. Rare to see mistakes by Devin Witherspoon and Tyrell Dodson. They're having a good game, and you hate to see your guys not being able to make the simple plays. Things get a little bit more complex here, but a couple of first downs and we can put this game away. And here's Walker breaking free again. He's been a machine all day. Final 2 minutes. He's going to stretch this to the outside. Sheds off a tackle and wisely stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. But this is going to be the biggest 3rd down of the entire game. It's going to be a screen to Charbonnet. He gets a block, and Charbonnet will get the first down and more. Starter or not, he contributes every time the ball is in his hands, and it becomes must-watch moments. And here he is again on the ground, picking up the first down and clinching the win for Seattle. What a dominant outing for the ground attack, and the game will come to an end after Howell kneels it down. And we have finally broken out of a tough slump in the worst 2 games any football team could have played, and come away with a hard-fought victory. Even the Saints gave us a scare, but we were able to close the deal. Howell's struggle continued, but this particular game has to be credited to both our backs in the backfield. Kenneth Walker absolutely exploded back to his regular form, and Zach Charbonnet played a perfect Robin to his Batman. However, I do wish that our passing attack would improve going forward, and if I'm a receiver on this team, it would be appropriate to show some frustration with how things have gone lately. Along with Walker, our defense was the main star of the show. We held the run game to a minimum, which puts me at ease, and we also put a lot of pressure on Rattler, which resulted in sacks and turnovers. Some big plays were made today, including the pick 6 by Witherspoon, and some other guys making contributions like Amari Barno and Tyrese Knight. This was the type of performance I had hopes on seeing. It would start up front from our defensive line to force the opponent's QBs to make tough decisions and let our secondary clean up the play. But I need to take a moment to shout out the comment section. It was you guys who put my attention on Amari Barno, and we are starting to see him shine a lot more, and he's earned a role in this rotation. He may not have gotten the development upgrade, but in my eyes, this was an absolute win, and I need to thank the chat. Another guy I want to give flowers to is Cameron Tucker. This guy has been playing out of his mind in the safety position, and since we transitioned him from free safety to strong, he leads the team in both tackles and interceptions, and he may be in a good spot to possibly win the Rookie of the Year. However, we did lose a rookie through injury, and it's a big one, literally. Demarius Golston tore his labrum and will miss 3 out of the last 4 games of the season. He's gonna be missed dearly because we get the pleasure of taking on a rising pass rusher in the next game in Will Anderson and the Houston Texans. This offense, I would imagine, is a whole lot different from the one we just faced in the Saints, and the games are going to get tougher as we finish off our second season. But guys, that will be all for the episode. We are currently in the bubble looking in on a playoff spot sitting at number 8 in the NFC, but the fate is in our hands if we have a strong finish. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Monkey C, and I'm out.